My name is Drew Spavent, and I'm the Director of Compliance here at ECOATM. We're committed to building a business that is both socially responsible and law enforcement friendly. ECOATM is kind of a game-changing approach at an industry that's been around for a while, the buying and selling of used electronics. Never has there been an automated machine that can buy back used electronic and comply with the law at the same time. And that's the major challenge that we've tried to not only overcome, but to go above and beyond what the law requires to make it one of the safest and best places for people to recycle and sell their used stuff. When you walk up to one of our kiosks, the first thing you have to do before you're even able to recycle a phone is to present a valid ID. The screen prompts you for it. It states that we work with law enforcement, and then we have a person that validates the ID you present in real time with images through the webcam of you standing in front of the kiosk. So if you try to use your friend's ID, or you have an expired ID, or you're not 18 years of age, you're going to get rejected before the process even starts.
I'm Bill Stonich, a retired 37-year veteran of law enforcement. I was the undersheriff of Los Angeles County for the last 5 years of my service. ECOATM has impaneled a law enforcement advisory committee made up of retired executives from across the United States. Suggestions made by those executives have been implemented, and this is something that I've seen firsthand.
I'm Lou Blanis. I'm the retired sheriff of Sacramento County. I've been involved in law enforcement, been in law enforcement 38 years. Was sheriff of Sacramento County, which is one of the largest sheriff's departments in the United States, for 8 years. The thing that impresses me most about ECOATM is the people that are in charge. They're more concerned about phone recovery for the victim. This is not a business deal to them. If they get a phone that's stolen, their number one priority is to get that phone back to that individual. I've had occasion to view a kiosk in operation, and ECOATM has taken every step possible to identify the seller of the phone. They've also explained to the individual selling the phone the do's and don'ts of selling a phone.
So right now we're going to have someone do a sample transaction in ECOATM and show you how it works.
Hi, I can help you price your device.
So the first thing it's asking is, what type of device do you have? We recycle cell phones, MP3 players, tablets, e-readers. The very first step before someone can even begin to recycle a device, they must provide a valid ID. What we're actually doing is validating that this ID matches the person in front. We're doing so using webcams that are providing a real-time feedback to our corporate headquarters where an employee is overseeing the transaction. He's now printed to take a sticker and to place it on the back of the phone. This is actually the tracking label for that phone and stays with the phone until it reaches ECOATM headquarters. It's the way that we track these devices. And the customer is prompted to place his device inside the inspection bin. We're getting a 360-degree view of the device that was placed in the bin. So now the ECOATM has identified the phone as an iPhone 5. And now it's given a range of prices based on the condition. Now the customer is connecting his phone to the cable that was presented. He's going to put it back inside the bin. So now the ECOATM kiosk is going to communicate electronically with the phone and figure out memory size, whether or not the OS is booting up, capture the serial number. This is the point in the process where we figure out what the internal condition is of the phone. And then he needs to agree to the terms and the conditions and the privacy policy. Now we're at the point in the process where we capture a thumbprint. There's a thumbprint scanner on the bezel of the machine, and we're actually going to use that thumbprint as the signature for the transaction. We also have software that validates we're getting a valid thumbprint that's readable. Now the customer has completed a successful transaction. We're going to take all the information from that transaction, pictures of the consumer, an image of the driver's license, the thumbprint. All that information is going to sync with our database in real time and be available to police via transaction report. Anytime there's a suspected theft, stolen phone, we have all that information we can make available to police so that we can identify and track down whoever it is that sold us the device at the beginning.
ECOATM works closely with local law enforcement. For example, if we get a report of a stolen phone, we immediately supply local law enforcement with the needed information to identify the suspect. In this case, we give them a copy of his or her driver's license, we give them a copy of a fingerprint, and give them a picture of the individual who we bought the phone from. All these ECOATM employees are verifying sales as we speak that are occurring around the country via live CAN in real time. This is the processing center that we're in right now, the ECOATM processing center. And what these two young ladies are doing is they're verifying the serial numbers on the phones. These phones were just received, so they're going through the process now of verifying the serial numbers and recharging the phones.
So what we're looking at here, these are actually the soak boxes. Every one of these boxes has a few hundred phones on it. Depending on when we got the phone and in what jurisdiction, they're all soaked for the required amount of time by law.
ECOATM's partnership with law enforcement makes it the worst place for a thief to attempt to sell a stolen cell phone, because it's going to be reported and the information provided by the thief is going to be turned over to law enforcement.
From a victim's perspective, ECOATM is the best place for your stolen phone to end up, because it will be immediately returned to you free of charge. The suspect or culprit in this case will be immediately identified, and the information will be supplied to the local law enforcement.